appreciate all the comics that have ever came to the Mac Rome show because I definitely cannot afford this shit. I'm somebody who's just trying to start from the bottom, and I got a lot of good friends, and they appreciate when I come out and I work with them, and I appreciate when they come out and work with me, and that's the reason why we get here. Now, this next comedian, I have worked with him several times. He is definitely a good friend of mine. He is the host of the Let's Talk NBC News radio show. He also, last night, ladies and gentlemen, he was at Inside Jokes in Hollywood with Shane Forbes. He's also open for Chris Spencer. This is one badass brother right here, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together for Brian Keith Sr. on the Mac Rome Show.
Hey, that works. I can hear myself now. Can you hear me? Yeah. I'm happy to be here on the Mac Rome Show. You know, so like you said, I found myself in Hollywood on this journey in comedy, and it's kind of soul searching getting into this thing. You know, in comedy they teach you to talk about yourself or your family, and I had to get involved in that because in my household where I grew up, you didn't talk about yourself or your family, your household. You know what I mean? If you did that, you get your ass whooped. Mama didn't play that. You know what I mean? So I had to come over some things. I had to survive some shit. You know, I'm a 70s child, you know. What that mean is, you know, you out there, you eating dinner, you know, in the days of time, 2014. Some people pay over their food. Some people don't. You know, it's a choice. A 70s child, we paid to finish our food. You know, let me iterate. If you didn't finish your plate when I was growing up, you know, you might end up in the hospital. You know, you had to finish your shit, you know. But I noticed, you know, like today's society, they eat tofu, all kinds of different things. You know what I mean? It's just different culture. You know, when I was growing up, you had like, what 7 channels, 2, 4, 5, 7, you know, 11, 13. And it was serious shit. You know, I used to snap beans with my grandmother watching the news. It was a motherfucker with a suit on talking some shit. Now, shit, I'm 44. It's 2014. I survived to see this shit. When the news lady come on with the weather, my dick be hard. I don't know what the hell. I'm just trying to hear the weather for the day, to dress my children, and I want to get my dick sucked. Shit. As soon as I see the weather. Anyway, it's just like time just changed. You know what I mean? Back in the day, you know, you didn't have all the things that you have today. You know, back in my day, we had to lay pipe. You know, let me get into that. What I'm trying to say is, y'all got this Viagra pill, y'all got all kinds of drugs and shit. You know, y'all do all kinds of stuff. I mean, as an adult, when I was growing up, you know what I mean? We had to just relax, you know what I mean? I had to talk to a girl, you know her name and shit, talk to her under the stars, give her the effervescence and everything. You know, get to know her. You know what I mean? Before I try to, you know, hit bases and shit. That's what I'm trying to say. Today, you know what I mean? You go to the strip club nowadays, you can just slide right in. Shit. You know? You ain't gotta have, you ain't gotta know a name or nothing. You guys ever go to the store and they got that Perel gel for their hands and shit for germs? When you be in the strip club, she'll put her ass in your face, come around, put her ass in my face. I'd be like, hold up, wipe your ass first. You know, I don't know where you been. You know what I mean? There's all kind of shit going on out here. But my point is, I'm getting off track because I had it all set up earlier. But, you know, the green room was live at the Mac Rome Show. And I've been like, you know what I mean? When I was growing up, get back into it, you know, let me touch bases on it. Shit, I don't know, you know. Matter of fact, what I'm trying to say is, we grew up out of poverty. A mother in our community wouldn't send a child to bed hungry. You know, a child who had to fucking eat first and then go to bed. You know what I mean? Well, I'm going to tell you what's fucked up about that is, now I'm an adult. Every time I fucking eat, I'm ready to go to fucking sleep. You know what I mean? I just had some chicken wings and some pizza, and now everybody else is bushy-eyed and bright-tailed and shit, bouncing around the room, and I'm ready to fucking go to bed. You know what I mean? Because my biological, what do you call it? The biological. See what I'm saying? This boy been educated. See all the political shows and shit. He can say words. You know what I mean? When I was growing up, look, I'm gonna tell you something. My community, if you know what I mean, I went to Hollywood last night. I could have been made it. When I first went to Hollywood 10 years ago, a white man was telling me, "We love you." They wanted to book me. I fucking left. Where I come from, if a white man said he was booking you, it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And one said they're gonna pay you and give you money for what the fuck you do. And the other one, they're gonna put your ass in jail. Anyway, it's just like different. You know, you gotta. The game is really confusing sometimes if you don't get your P's and Q's. You know the P's and Q's. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be. I like the little brother. You know what I'm saying? He was P's and Q's. But getting back to it. Going through this comedy, it's a soul search. You know what I mean? I got to learn myself, like I mentioned earlier. You know, back in my household, you couldn't talk about yourself or your family and shit outside the household. That's a violation. So I had to transition shit and overcome things. But getting back to that now, when I was younger, you know what I mean? Junior high school, fellas. Everybody went to junior high school, right? That's when we started at, right? Okay. This is a touchy subject. You call blue material in the comedy world. You know, a lot of men be talking about in this comedy game about jacking off. You know what I'm talking about? Men jack off, right? But I found out I'm a weird fucker. I didn't know this until doing comedy. Because men don't talk about their jacking off recipes, ladies. You know, they don't talk about, like, you know, what the fuck you do. You know what I mean? They don't do that. So my point is, well, they don't. So that's how I go. But my point is, when I was in junior high, I'm jacking off, but I'm not trying to ejaculate. My dumb ass. I'm trying to last long in the wetness of a female. You got to get used to it. Let me explain it out there in video land. You ain't understanding. How many out there are you, of you are athletes? You know, you jog around the track and shit, right, bro? You build up your stamina to last longer in the race. You don't want to show up to the race and start running. You might have to sit your ass down. You know what I mean? That's how it is in the sexual world. You know what I mean? If you ain't prepared yourself to last longer in that wetness, nigga, you might have to jump out, you know. But my point is, that's called laying pipe. I didn't know that. I prepared myself. Now, in my culture, when you say laying pipe, brothers look at you like, nigga, you know, you talking to the choir. You know, we know that. But I go around the world, bro. Well, I ain't been around the world yet, but you know, around the United States, talking about laying pipe and different cultures, because when you say something, you would think it's received the way you put it out there. But everybody on different levels, not like good or bad or high or low, you know, it's just different ways of thinking. So I asked, what is laying pipe? And I get back and the response is having sex and different things, you know. But really, I'm going to share out there with you in your virtual world. Laying pipe, once of all, is this here. Just laying pipe. Busting the nutters for a lazy fucker. Anyway, I'm going to get off on another subject. How about Daryl, what was his name? I can't say this fucker's name right. Donald Sterling. I'm going to mention this shit like that because I'm going to talk about that for a minute before they kick me the fuck out of here. I'm going to say some shit what I want to say about this shit. Because I'm listening to the... How many of y'all heard the tape? You know, the little tape you was talking to the bitch with? All right. What the fuck I heard was he wasn't a real racist. I'm going to say this. Before you hit me with apples and oranges, motherfucker, wait. He wasn't a true racist. Because he was telling the shit like, you can fuck the blacks. You can bring them in. But just don't be seen with them. Because I'm in the culture. And they calling me. And then he would get upset on that spinning point. Bitch, all the shit I do for you, the one thing I asked you not to do, you know what I mean? He was just like vocal about not being seen because of the calls he was getting. You know what I mean? Yeah, don't be seen with the black men because of the calls that I'm getting, bitch. Basically what he's trying to say. But my point is, the racist motherfuckers that hear this shit, they hear the tape differently because like he's a sellout. He's like, you're not even true to what the fuck we was telling you. You know, he gonna facing more charges than get kicked out the NBA. I think he gonna get kicked out the Klan. You know, he like banned from all that shit. You know, he's really fucked up when you tell. One thing that strikes me out, man, if y'all heard this shit, he's like, you's a nice white Latina. You don't need to be seen with them blacks. So I'm tripping on this shit because on my show, I ain't trying to plug my shit, but I do Let's Talk on NBC News Channel. But my point is, I plug the shit. I do, Let's Talk, right? It's unfiltered. So we say what the fuck on our mind. So, you know what I mean? Except cussing and shit. But my point is, on my show I brought out weeks before any of this shit came out that alarmed me because I'm at the house watching my shit in my drawers. And I get revelation, looking at shit. And I see this guy named George P. Bush talking. And this is Jed Bush's son that's getting into politics. And without the robes and shit, I seen a Klan rally this motherfucker was in, like leading the new Klan and shit. And he happened to be white and Latina. Anyway, it tripped me out that the new Klan was the Latinas and white mix. I ain't talking about Mexicans, you know, the homies and shit. I'm talking about the Latinas that don't like y'all motherfuckers. You know, they Latinas or whatever the fuck. It's a new word. It's cold. Watch this shit. So later on, like I'm on the Mac Rome show. Later on, you remember I was telling your ass, the new Klan is that George P. Bush motherfucker with his Latino ass. He ain't all Latino. He's white and Latino. And I ain't racial. I ain't getting all into fighting and shit. I'm just saying be the fuck aware. Don't act stupid. Like, put it this way before I go on the Mac Rome show. I'm going to say this shit. We went to Iraq. They say America went to Iraq to liberate the country and let them vote for who the fuck they want to do what they going to do. So there's different regimes taking over, right? So they let the country choose what the fuck they want to run the motherfucker, right? But in America, they trip me out. Like, they don't remember this debate they had in America where the white folks on one side said, I believe that the blacks and the slaves and everybody as one should have equality and be free and justice for all, you know. Let's everybody, you know, unite. United we stand, divided we fall shit. And the country white dude said, what the fuck? This here, he was like negotiating about the blacks as his animal, his slave, his shit in the barn. And he didn't want to let that shit go. So my point is, there's two regimes in this motherfucker. One don't give a fuck about you and never did and never said they would. And one is saying equality for all and want to fuck with you. So my point is, don't forget that when you hear shit when Obama got in talking about, give us our country back, you know, and then you act like, I can't believe they don't like niggas. Well, I'm sorry, did I say niggas? I meant to say black folks, Africans, who the fuck you is today. Wake the fuck up and realize that if you're going to do right and do good and love the Lord, at least know that the Spirit does testify against evil and listen to the shit. Don't act like he ain't told you this is your enemy, and not to hurt him or harm him, but know and be aware. I hate the fact that people be like, I can't believe there's a white guy that's 80 years old that owns these coloreds. He don't own shit. He just paying, you know what I mean? You can work with a motherfucker wrong, but you can't work, you know what I mean, like you buying them out, you know? If they let you think that shit and you think that shit, I guess you a bought motherfucker, but, you know, they'll buy your ass if you think you bought. But you can work with me and give me $1 million, I'll work with you all day. But I ain't working for your ass. Make a long story short, get back to the jokes, is in our culture, man, before I go, I'm going to speak on this shit. If you see a black man in a motherfucking dress with some red lipstick on and some heels, they won't say shit about that. But if you see a brother sagging, they gonna put him in jail. Now, that's some fucked up shit that I think is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And what tripped me out about it is, I ain't standing up for sagging because, you know, people try to talk shit to me. But my point is, that's my culture. And I'm looking out for my culture as a fucking whole, not as the fucking you pick and choose. And how you gonna let somebody make a law up against your culture and put your youth in jail behind whatever the fuck they doing and make it a law to put them in jail? And you are, well, they shouldn't have been sagging. You're weak. I ain't gonna bust you up today. But I'm gonna be back and I'm gonna talk shit to you until you get your head right. That protect your whole fucking culture instead of picking and choosing what you want to do. You know what I mean? You got to fight for the whole thing and not for the, you know, a piece of the motherfucker. That's what I want to say out. You know what I mean? But me, that sagging shit came out to this here. Because, you know what? I'm just share some shit in jokes. But it's sort of funny, but it ain't. Remember back in the day when you walked across the street and the white man locked his door? Remember that shit? Well, that stand your ground law snuck up on the nigga. You know, now, they get out their car, they unlock the door and get out their car and shoot your ass and you ain't got no weapon. And then jump back in their car talking about they stood their fucking ground. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, I just want to wrap it up by saying, our culture has been plagued on for a long time out of our emotions or whatever problems we may be having amongst ourselves, and other people come and get involved within that and make like nets to capture our culture while they're in their struggle. And I don't like that shit. I just personally don't. And I realize with the sagging law that's been introduced, that they've been able to make laws against our culture and our habits for a long time, and that just revealing to me in my face. And I like to have fun, like to joke, but I ain't no punk and I ain't talking junk. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Give it up for my motherfucking boy, my motherfucking man, Brian Keith. Walker Sr., not the junior. How you doing, brother?
Well, I'm thankful, brother. I'm thankful to be here, man.
All right.
The Mac Rome Show. Yes.
That's right. And me and this brother work together a lot, too, ladies and gentlemen. Like I told you, you won't get on here unless I've worked with you. It's just a little trust thing between comedians and everything. And I do definitely trust this brother right here because I've worked with him several times, and he is the business.
Likewise.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's ask Brian Keith Sr., or Brian Keith Walker Sr., how long? No, first of all, what's your hometown? So how many brothers come from Indianapolis?
Well, a lot of them come out there. The Jackson 5 started doing their thing before they went to Thrilling.
Oh, Motown.
Yeah,
country.
Motown out there. Not in that
Diana
town,
Ross.
but it's out there on the same, it's in the same world. So, a lot of brothers come out there. Mike Epps out here, you from that town.
The nigga said, fuck it, as long as Brian Keith Walker Sr. come from motherfucking Annapolis, nigga, that's all you need to know.
What it is. You know what I mean? But, yeah. One thing I look back on it, I like about Naptown was doing all the Civil War movements, it was a neutral state. You know what I mean? At least I know they wasn't, you know what I mean? They probably, I read some history where they jumped off in the wrong way, but my point is I look back at it, man, and I'm thankful to be from Naptown.
Now, y'all see, he ain't gonna let me go because he's a conscious brother too, and he's got his own shows. And I told you, he's got the NBC show, Let's Talk, and this is a conscious brother too. Now, really, what I just did right there, I'm gonna admit, I tried to give him a lazy question, but the brother hit me off hard. Tell us some of the things about your show and what do you guys talk about on Let's Talk on NBC?
Well, I'll do it right now. It's under Carmel Road, which it is, Carmel Road and Brian Keith Walker. We do Let's Talk Unfiltered. And what it is really intriguing the audience to really speak up about whatever's on their chest, whether from any laws that you feel has been passed. I'm on the Debate Society, too. I'm on the board of the Inner Empire Debate Society. And what I got involved with that for is we complain about a lot of different things. And I understand that. When I grew up, I didn't know nothing about politics. When I read about the Whig Party, I thought I was a bunch of gay men, shooting towards coke or whatever. I just was ignorant about it. And as I learned and kept progressing in life, coming from the streets, coming up with no daddy, you know how the thing go. When you hear a young black male with no daddy, that's like, cook on TV now with these talk shows, with these cook shows with salt and pepper, when they're cooking. You know what I mean? It's just always the same thing. But my point is not saying that everybody comes from a broken family, but a lot of us have.
Please give them the name and the address of your show.
So Let's Talk is unfiltered. So it's with Carmel Roll and Brian Walker. You can catch that on KCAAradio.com. And then you look into Thursdays on every Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. And really come and look at it. And we get into debating, too, with on the channel with the Inner Empire Debating Society. So
and y'all see the brother is funny and everything. Tell us some of the comedy shows you got coming up.
Well, you know what? Mel Austin has a thing called the Comic Battle down at the Ontario Mills. I'm coming up on that next month, which is called the Comic Battle. And I want to enjoy that. And also we got another room called Clean Comedy. I'm doing that.
Oh, with C. Sizzle?
Sizzle C got J.
Sizzle C, my bad.
Yeah, Sizzle C got the J spot coming up.
We're going to edit that shit right there.
Right, but I'm going to work with him. I don't want to shout no dates because I don't have him on me right now. But yeah, Sizzle C's a good brother to work with. He got Clean Room, Clean Comedy. And I'm with that, too, I love clean comedy. I love, just really getting out whatever's in you. You know what I mean? I go back with hip-hop. You know what I mean? If you can make somebody feel what's in your heart, off your chest, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have about 30 more seconds in the Mac Rome Show. And let's give it up one more time for Brian Keith Walker Sr.
Right. And the Mac Rome Show, you know what I mean?
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We really do appreciate you guys. Our goal is to get to, right now, our goal is to get to 3,000 viewers. Basically, for the last 2 weeks, we've had 2,000 viewers. We kind of we're kind of stuck there. But please tell a friend about the Mac Rome Show. Please go to the Mac Rome Show on Facebook and like the page. Tell a friend about the page. And just kind of help get the word out because we're trying to get to 3,000. We're trying to be like Mr. 3,000 like Bernie Mac.
You know what I'm saying? Network this. Mac Rome.
What I'm saying? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that looks like it's about to be all it is tonight.
Peace.
I do appreciate you all for coming through, the live audience and the internet audience. Let me try and name some more people. The Holmes family in South Carolina. Jason Flynn. Florence, Alabama. Who else am I messing with? Amy Milligan out there in Virginia. Who else? Who else is watching the show that really like hits me? Hassan Musab, Shakir Washington. I mean, like all these people contact me about the show. I listen to all y'all's feedback, and I will answer your questions and everything. It is an interactive show. You guys got to start calling me though, like when the show is on the air, and I will mess with you. Like I will definitely mess with you on the air. All right. This has been the Mac Rome Show. I am your host, the Mac Rome. We getting out of here.